Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It is me, once again, screaming into the void of the internet. I essentially just got back from my first day of training with my shift. And, I just got to say this, and regardless of if someone cares or not, honestly, thank God. I literally mean that being in work purgatory it's ridiculous. Like you wouldn't care if you had a surplus of money, even if it was like, just say, 10,000 bucks, right? Because it's at least 10,000 bucks that you don't have to worry about. So, you have a bit of security. But when you have like no security at all, like it's very irritating. It's irritating to not be able to do anything, not be able to go anywhere, not be able to make plans of any kind, you know. So, I'm just very happy to not be in job purgatory anymore, you know. And I know that you guys can do it too. So, please do hang in there. But I kind of wanted to talk about something else. Um, I just saw something recently today in two different instances. Apparently, Japan is implementing a singles tax, right? And even here in America, I think Ohio and Mississippi. I'm gonna link the article, at least the title that I saw. And if it should have enough information to where like you can probably just type that in and find it if you really want to read it, right? But they're trying to essentially ban any act of sex without intent to conceive in America, in Mississippi and Ohio. And my crap, listen, here's my response to that, right? Because I've talked about this to death about, like, my take on that, right? But here's my thing. Are you trying to start a whole arse war over here? You make people's lives basically impossible to maintain without extreme sacrifice. There is no denying that despite, me saying that I'm content with like basically living in a room, I have to work 3 times as hard as my parents for much less than they had when they started, like, just their first jobs. There's no denying that. That's an absolute fact. But you freaking cocksuckers are out here making it seem like we should just pop out babies because you want meat for your freaking grinder without at least making it seem like they should get the bare minimum, a freaking roof over their head, food in their bellies, clothes on their backs. Oh no, that's too much to ask. You need to just be satisfied with whatever we're gonna give you. If we're gonna pay you freaking $5 an hour, suck my dick and just take it. And a lot more people around the world are saying, no, I have to bust my balls because my parents weren't freaking smart enough to wait until they were financially stable to have me. And even when these people sit around here and go, oh, it's a good thing because it'll encourage people to have kids. This is why I can't stand these cocksuckers. So what you're saying is you don't care if we have quality people. You just care about quantity. You don't care that those people are going to inherit generational poverty. You don't care that they're going to inherit all kinds of effed up problems because they're going to have a bad childhood and likely be more prone to get into crime, make trouble for everyone. They're not going to be, freaking productive adults. They're going to have tons of problems because they had an effed up childhood. Listen, I had an effed up childhood. But the fact of the matter is, not to suck my own dick. I handle it better. I handle the way that I handled the trauma is objectively better. Not everyone is capable of doing that. I need they're them. You can't expect everyone to handle the trauma that I handled the same way and do different things with it. Most people are going to turn to drinking. Most people are going to turn to drugs. Most people are going to turn to crime. That's the truth. Listen, if that wasn't the truth, then realistically speaking, I'm saying this as someone who came out of the ghetto. Listen, if that wasn't the truth, there would be a lot more of me. A lot more people like me and me. That's not the case though. Most people embrace the ghetto. They feel like they can't get out and they embrace it. But you dumb idiots are sitting around here making it seem like that's going to be a good idea because we got to get this their population rate up. F the population rate. You want the population rate to go up so bad? Here's what you do. Straight up. Because what the heck are you going to do with this whole singles tax bullcrap, huh? Do you want me to just go ahead and go back to caveman? Just get me a club and just bash a chick over the head and just drag her home? Hmm? You want ladies to go ahead and put roofies in freaking guys' drinks and ride them till they get pregnant? That what you want? Because listen, I'm just being real. Forcing people to stay together does not make for a good family. When all these people sit around here and say, well, people got married for convenience back in the day and look at how that turned out. That's because they didn't have a freaking choice. You couldn't just go and dip and bail out on your family and then get freaking alimony and divorce grape and all this bullcrap. If you wanted to bail on your family, you had to probably walk miles somewhere and go get you a carriage ride back to your freaking parents' place or something. This is the modern freaking age. So many people know, chicks especially, that hey, listen, there's a mile of people just begging to worship the ground that she walks on merely because she's got peace leave. So it's completely destroyed people's freaking impressions of, what they feel like they are, air quotes, entitled to in a relationship. It's completely ruined it. So my thing is this. You want to fix it so bad. You want the population rates to grow so bad. Here's what you do. Here's what you do. Here's what you do. You make your freaking economies stable enough to where people feel like, you know what? This is something I wouldn't mind my kids living in. I wouldn't mind my kids living in a world like this. It's easy to have a roof over my head. It's easy to get a job and guarantee that I have job security. Guarantee those people that, and I promise, you'll see the population rate go up. Don't give them that, and it's not going anywhere. But it's not just enough that you do that. It's not just enough that you do that. What you need to do, on top of that, is protect freaking families against cunts. Yes, it goes both ways. Whether you're the chick walking out or the guy walking out. Unless someone is doing, like some shady crap with infidelity, as long as they are, again, honoring their roles, there is no reason for you to be walking out. None of this open relationship bullcrap. No. None of that garbage. If you got a family, you make that work. If you don't have the freaking character qualities for a family, don't have kids. You want to go have orgies and crap, that's not something the kids should be around. I don't understand why this is freaking complicated. Is it any wonder that people like freaking Jaden Smith and Willow Smith ended up the way that they did when they had parents like that? These cunts had millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. And they raised kids around millions of dollars, and they still ended up effed up. Because those people did not have good character. Period. That's why they ended up that way. So, again, we need to go by the characters as well as the finances. You need both, not just one. Just being real. And heck, in my opinion, if no one's going to do anything about these laws, let's just make surrogacy more accessible. Because artificial wombs are still a ways off. And hey, listen, the fact of the matter is, being completely real, chicks don't give a rat's arse about the kids. That's why they are willing to rip them apart in their wombs. That's why they're willing to freaking essentially sell their eggs when you really think about it. It's not that they really... Because some of these surrogate moms, they'll have these like freaking documentaries about how it just makes you feel so happy to bless a couple who can't have kids. And maybe some of them are. But listen, they wouldn't be doing that if they weren't getting tons of money. And surrogate mothers get paid quite a lot of money. Like, I'm talking like maybe sometimes $170K a year to do that stuff. So again, make surrogacy accessible, more accessible. Because listen, to be honest, I really think that if you're gonna raise kids, like if you actually do care enough, like, and you're a dude, because again, I'm gonna say this again, I'm talking from the male perspective. It is safer for you to just go ahead and get a surrogate. Because they have to immediately prove that is your kid, number one, right? And you have to file all this paperwork to show that you're a fit parent. But you don't have to do that with the so-called regular option, right? The so-called natural option. Why though? Someone could just say that you're dad, pin a baby on you, you get DNA tested, and you still have to like pay child support, you have to pay for all this bullcrap. Yet if you go through surrogacy, you guarantee that the kid's yours, and you still have to prove, again, that you're competent. So I don't understand why we haven't been doing this to begin with. I really don't understand. Make it more accessible for, like, single guys, and just let them raise their kids. Because I'm positive, a single guy with a good head on his shoulders will raise a kid better than either single moms, and honestly, straight up speaking, like most couple scenarios, because most couples aren't even staying together. It is not normal to have 2, 3, 4, dads and moms these days. Because everyone's freaking getting divorced and remarried, it's freaking ridiculous. Trying to force this problem to go away by just punishing the people who aren't having kids is not it. Because quite frankly, I'm just being real. It ain't my freaking business to help someone else take care of their kids. They chose to have them. I kept my dick in my pants. Period. It's not my business to help you raise your kids. It's not how that works. Find it very amusing that the government is always trying to freaking overstep its bounds and tell us where the money should and shouldn't go. And it goes everywhere but your own pockets. It doesn't go anywhere that actually puts the money back in your pockets. It's just taking money from someone else, giving it to someone who is going to then give most of that money that they're going to make when they, mature, back to the government. It's disgusting. But I don't want to, come off as like mad or anything, but I just had to talk about that because that just freaking, that blew me away, man, when I saw that today. But today's still a good day because, I got to work and whatnot. So I'm just going to end it on the note that, yeah, like stuff like that is just hilarious to me. And I'm just being honest, push their luck over here with that crap. Listen, you're essentially declaring war when you're doing stuff like that because you're already making people's lives hell. And now you're going to like freaking tax them over something as, again, personal and private as romance. Go ahead and do that. Again, this is one of the many instances where, hey, listen, go ahead and talk all that crap. About not being able to own weapons is a positive thing. When your gooberment keeps towing the line, you ain't gonna have no way to fight back. If they pushed it really far here, listen, there is tons. I literally mean that. I mean tons and tons and tons. As in weight, okay, of ammunition that people have their hands on here. Maybe some of these suckers are soy boys and whatnot, but there are still plenty of people who are more than willing to die for what they believe in. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to stick around in this world for a prolonged period of time if that's what I got to deal with. I don't exist all this time. Now I'm finally getting my life together and you're going to tax me? Yeah, F that. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Hope you guys enjoyed. What are your thoughts on matters like this? How are you guys doing in the realm of work? Hopefully you guys are doing good. Let me know. Maybe I can try and recommend things that I did that might work for you. I'm not some guru. I want to get you guys out of it too. But gonna end it here. God bless. I'll see you in the next one.